What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in, and Happy New Year to you. Hope you had a good New Year. Hope you had a good time. Didn't get into too much trouble. But now we're back to business. Today's video is going to be the results of filling the Tundra with 93 octane fuel. This is actually after 2 fill-ups. I know in the original video I said after 3 fill-ups I would report, but it's been taking so long because of that 38-gallon tank, and a lot of people were starting to ask. So I figured I'd give you some feedback on what I found so far, and we'll go from there. Before we get started on this, I just want you to know the reason I did this is because I was getting a slight engine knock, and I wanted to see if the higher octane fuel would do anything for that. And at that point along the way, I just wanted to see what else could happen. You hear people say higher octane fuel won't do anything, stick with what the owner's manual says, which is 87. You hear people say higher octane fuel does tons of things. So this is all based on my opinion. I kept this notebook in my truck the entire time I was doing this. I do that with long-term tests, so anything I feel or something that happens, whatever, I could write it down right away so I remember it for this video or any video. So yeah, let's get started on some of the things I found along the way. All right, so some things I felt along the way. We're gonna go with power and torque here. The engine note seemed stronger. Okay, so especially on startup of the truck, where normally the truck would start up just fine, no problem, engine would come on, cool. But during the 2 fill-ups and having the 93 octane, it just felt like a stronger startup. The engine sounded better. Again, this is probably a mental thing, but dyno / mental, all of this, but this is the stuff that I felt enough to write it down. I went into it with an open mind, either way. So, but one of the things I definitely felt was the engine note was stronger. And also the truck felt ready to go. It felt like it wanted to go. That's actually something that I always say about the FRS. The FRS has 200 horsepower. It's a small little car. When you step on the pedal, it wants to go. And that's kind of what the truck felt like. I don't know if that was just because I knew 93 octane was in it or not, but again, it was enough to write down. It was a little bit stronger in the mid-range. It was already strong in the mid-range, but when you put the pedal down, it would really, really, really go. And the last note I wrote here is probably butt dyno, but it felt like it had more power. It just felt it a lot hungrier. It was just a different truck during these 2 fill-ups. But, it was a lot of local driving. I didn't do, much highway driving. It was to and from work. December is my busiest month at work, so it was pretty much to and from. We'll get into that with the fuel mileage side of things. But like I said, power and torque wise, big thumbs up. So this next section is probably what everybody is watching this video for. Fuel mileage. And the fuel mileage actually went down a little bit. When I started this video, the fuel mileage was around 14.5 to 15 mpg on the 87. And during this time, we saw mpg of 11 to 14. Before we go any further with that, just so you know, it was a lot of local driving, a lot of stop and go, and a lot of idling. I would get to work and I would have to sit there in the car for a little while before I went in. A lot of idling. Okay, that might have been something that would drive the number down even with 87, but yeah, I'm just reporting what I saw. And one thing I've learned in all the Tundras that I've had is local driving is, usually what hurts the number the most, and that's in any car, but like really the Tundra, the number drives down. When you get this thing out on the highway, the number will shoot up, 19, 20 mpg more than what it's rated. That's what I've dealt with over the years. But sitting there idling the truck, local driving only, it was like 11 to 14. Toward the end of the test, it started to come up because I started to drive a lot more than just home, work, home, work. So I blame a lot of it on sitting with the engine on. And the cost, somebody asked me about the cost. It was about $10 more per fill-up. So it's not breaking the bank or anything, but yeah, so fuel mileage was probably a little thumbs down action on the fuel mileage, but nothing too crazy. So those are the 2 main things people ask me about the 93 octane. How's the fuel mileage? Do you feel any difference in the power or the torque or anything like that? I will say one thing, the engine knock I was experiencing at 87 is completely gone. It probably was just, bad fuel or something like that, but I was experiencing it for a while, so it might have just been low quality fuel all around at that one gas station I go to. I will continue to use 93 octane just because of the stuff I felt. You know, I like that, and I want to continue to do more updates. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to do a 100-mile highway trip with just filling up the 93 octane and resetting the MPG clock just to see what kind of mileage I can get, if it's any different from the 87. So overall, that's some of the things that I found along the way. It was just a test, you know, it was just something to see what would happen, and I'm glad I did it because I feel like it did some very good things for the Tundra. But, you know, you can read online. Some people say it'll help, some people say it won't. I'm just about trying it myself with all this stuff and, you know, reporting back to you what I felt. But other than that, thanks for watching. Comment below, tell me what you think. Tell me if there's any questions you have that I didn't cover here. Maybe I forgot to write something down, whatever. So comment below the video, or you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TundraDude34. I'll talk to you soon.